Mr. Speaker, I rise in support of the motion of thanks to the President for his address. This is the first speech in this chamber, and it means everything to me, not just because it marks the start of my parliamentary journey, but also because it reflects the trust Singaporeans, in particular my Canberra constituents, to speak honestly, with heart and with purpose. The President in his address reminded us that Singapore can only stand tall if we act as one people, by putting we before me. This unity, built not despite our diversity, but through it, has always been our strength. Our future depends on nurturing a society where we look out for one another, where success is measured not just by what we achieve, but by what we do together for the common good. Personally, it is not enough to look at where someone starts. What matters just as much is the courage they show when life knocks them down and how we support them in getting back up. Today, I want to speak about something deeply personal: second chances. I want to talk about what it means to fall behind and how we, as a society, can help people stand tall again. I also want to touch on two things we often avoid discussing: financial literacy and planning for death, wills and lasting powers of attorney. Because all three are deeply connected, they are about control, dignity, and hope. Let's start with second chances. I'm not just talking about ex-offenders. I'm talking about any Singaporean who's made a wrong turn, bad financial decisions, toxic relationships, addictions, even just giving up on themselves too early. I've been championing for second chances since 2011, and have seen firsthand the repercussions to the families of those incarcerated with addictions or who made wrong financial decisions. It often takes years for the families to recover, if they recover at all. One wrong choice can lead to a lifetime of despair. It should not be that way. We have made good progress in some areas. For example, our prisons recidivism rate has been steadily dropping. Our 2-year recidivism rate is low by international standards and fell to 21.3% for the 2022 release cohort. Over the longer term, 5-year recidivism has continued to decline to 36.6% for the 2019 cohort, from 41.7% for 2015. We should keep going. But second chances are not only about statistics or systems. They are also about whether people feel life itself is worth holding on to. I met a young resident not long ago at my MPS. She came with her mother, and I noticed the scars of self-harm still healing on her arms. Her bank account had been misused by someone else, and the bank froze it. She was caught in a spiral, unable to access her own money, losing hope. We worked with the local police post and even wrote to MAS to try to resolve it. Last month, her father wrote to me and shared that his daughter was admitted into IMH. This is what it looks like when someone feels there's no way back. It's not just about mental health in the clinical sense. It is about society giving people reasons to believe tomorrow can still be better. When they don't see that, they give up, and the cost of silence is lives. This is serious when we look at the numbers. In 2024, there were 314 suicide deaths in Singapore, with suicide remaining the leading cause of death among youth aged 10 to 29 for the 6th consecutive year. The national suicide rate stood at 5.91 per 100,000 residents. In recent years, it has been heartening to see communities coming together, various organizations that champion different causes coming together to help those in need. But we must first acknowledge that more can be done and more must be done. That we must teach a person to fish and not just provide them fish. Second chances only work if someone's willing to give a first yes. The landlord who doesn't judge your past, the HR officer who looks at your potential, the auntie at the void deck who asks you okay or not, instead of crossing the road in avoidance. We need more of these moments. That means relooking into our hiring culture, our housing rules, and our public communications. Can we move from a society that punishes mistakes endlessly to one that corrects, supports, and uplifts? Mr. Speaker, I want to talk next about financial literacy because in Singapore, it is often the first step to a bad decision and rarely the first thing we teach. I've met too many Singaporeans, especially in their 40s and 50s, who have fallen into debt because they didn't understand the system, not because they were reckless, but because no one ever taught them how credit works, what compounding means, or what it means, or what to ask before signing a loan. Here's the reality. Unpaid credit card balances that incur interest, what MAS calls rollover balances, hit a record 8.3 billion in Q4 2024. That is not financial play. That is pressure. Earlier this year, I met a resident during a house visit, and he explained that his sister had taken multiple loans with both licensed and unlicensed moneylenders. This led to his family being harassed, afraid, and needing help. It eroded their relationship, leading to a breakup of the family. Cases like these are not rare. In the first half of 2024 alone, Credit Counselling Singapore received about 1,150 requests for help from debt-distressed individuals, a surge of 18% compared to the second half of 2023. That is nearly 2,300 people in a single year needing help. Each a signal that money struggles are growing, not shrinking. Back in 2019, CCS handled about 3,250 new cases. That number dropped during COVID, but is now climbing back again. The trend is clear. Financial health is not just a private matter, it is a public concern. We need to stop thinking of financial literacy as a good to have. It is a life skill as essential as reading or writing. We should be teaching this in primary school, in national service, in skills future classes, not just budgeting, but how to read contracts, avoid scams, manage risk. And for those already in debt, we must offer a real way out, simplifying the restructuring process, provide case managers who work with people, and most of all, remove the shame. You cannot rebuild a life when you are buried under guilt. But financial resilience is not only about individuals. It is about whether our businesses and workers can adapt in a changing economy. Across Singapore, I've met business owners and workers who share similar worries. Rising costs, digitalization, and the challenge of keeping up with rapid change. Transformation cannot just be about large firms or multinationals. It must also include our kopitiam stores, our SMEs, our local family-run businesses that anchor the communities. Our government's support for digitalization, training, and productivity is crucial. But I believe more can be done to simplify access. For many small businesses, it's not about a lack of will, but a lack of time and bandwidth to navigate grants and schemes. We need to bring transformation support down to the ground through community centers, town councils, and grassroots networks so that businesses know help is not far away. As of September 2024, At the same time, transformation must go hand in hand with protecting and uplifting our local workers. When industries change, it is workers who feel the disruption most keenly. Older workers especially fear being replaced or left behind. We must strengthen retraining pathways, wage support, and on-the-job learning opportunities so that transformation is not something done to workers, but with them. If we can help our local businesses thrive and ensure our workers grow alongside them, then transformation will not divide us. It will uplift us together. The next taboo I want to talk about is death. More specifically, wills and LPAs. I know, Mr. Speaker, these are not exciting topics, But when we avoid them, families suffer. As of September 2024, only 233,000 Singaporeans aged 50 and above have made an LPA, a fraction of who stand to benefit from it. That's despite a campaign pushing for 240,000 by end 2025. Yet more than 1 in 10 Singaporeans don't know what an LPA is, and nearly 20% are not aware of advanced care planning. This is not ignorance, it is a risk. I was at a Meet the People session where I saw this resident whose husband had just passed away a year ago, and there was no will and no LPA before he lost mental capacity. It led to complex legal challenges and emotional distress. These things are preventable, but many still do not know what an LPA is. Some think it is only for the old. Others worry it is about giving up power. But it is the opposite. LPAs, when made, are simple and cheap. Form 1 is fee waived for citizens until March 2026, yet many still don't know. An LPA protects your voice when you can no longer speak for yourself. And wills, especially for lower income families, are equally crucial. For some lower income families, a partially paid or older HDB flat may be their life's only tangible asset. If that transfer is contested or mishandled, it could break a family apart. Canberra CC has had a series of will and LPA workshops, and I know more can be done to raise awareness. Mr. Speaker, at the heart of all this, second chances, money missteps, end-of-life planning, is one word: dignity. And dignity means giving people agency over their story, even when they've made mistakes, even when they've failed. In Singapore, we are trained from young to fear failure. And so when it comes, we hide, we disappear, we stay quiet. We are embarrassed to reach out for help. But I believe we must make space for a comeback. That means companies hiring not just based on clean records, but also on character growth. It means schools giving students time to catch up. It means neighborhoods where asking for help isn't seen as a weakness. I've been blessed to know of company owners who do not look at overcomers as cheap labor or just another recruitment channel or to exploit them, but to invest in them, to give them opportunities to grow, to groom them, to help them develop, and equip them to overcome challenges that lie ahead. That's the culture I want to see more of. Because sometimes it takes just one yes to save someone from a lifetime of no. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, the President spoke about the importance of putting we before me, of building a we-first society where our success is measured not only by what we achieve alone, but by what we do together for the common good. But I think this is not just about bouncing back when times are hard. It is about building a country where people help each other rise again. I want Singapore to be known not just for its discipline, but its compassion, not just for its efficiency, but for its empathy. Let us be a society where someone who's messed up once is not forever defined by it, where dignity isn't earned only by success, but granted simply because you are human. Let us be the kind of country where every Singaporean knows this. Even if you fail, you're not forgotten. Even if you are lost, there's a way home. Mr. Speaker, I support the motion of thanks, and I thank the House and Singaporeans for giving me the chance to speak and to serve.